All right. Thanks everyone for stopping by and welcome to today's webinar, Senior Relocation Specialist, hosted by MAPS coach Dan Ihara. Before I kick it over to him, I have 3 quick announcements to make. Please note this meeting is being recorded. I will share the link in the chat momentarily to the MAPS YouTube channel, where the recording will be available within 24 hours. Currently, everyone is on mute. However, we do value group participation, so we ask if you have any questions for your coach or for MAPS, please type them into the chat box. Following the meeting, if you have any questions about today's call that you forgot to ask or any other coaching programs in MAPS, please feel free to email us at fasttrack, that's FASTTRACK @kw.com. That's all for me, Dan. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Graham. Aloha. Hi, everybody. My name is Dan Ihara, and I'm a MAPS coach, but also a leader of the KW Real Estate Planner community, as well as having our own team here in Honolulu, Hawaii. I've been in real estate for 17 years, and from my very first listing all the way to today, we've been working with wealthy older adults, right? And we built a model around securing listings with the wealthy older adult. And today we're going to talk about how do we help them with senior relocation, and what does senior relocation specialists look like? Okay, so let's rock and roll here. So first off, we want to understand where the market is, right? We're in the brink of the largest transfer of wealth in America with real estate, as the baby boomers and their parents are passing on, right? If you think about it, 65 for those over the age of 65, there's over 2.1 million are going to pass away this year, right? And 80% of them own real estate. That tells you there's a potential of 1.68 million listings hitting the market just this year alone. And then you add another 2.2 million of these baby boomers that upon retirement are moving. What's happening? Well, we're seeing a large transfer of wealth now, and it could be potentially up to close to 4 million listings that'll be hitting the market. So why is it important to know the senior relocation services? Well, because at some point, the older adult, their home just won't work for them anymore, right? They'll have physical challenges, they'll get lonely, some of them are widows, or some are, the family will pass away and the next of kin will have to sell. Also is to find them a new home, because once you help an older adult find their new home and make sure that they're comfortable there, then there's likely a chance that you're going to get that listing. The other thing that's going to happen is people will hear that you are the relocation specialist. They're going to hear that you have solutions for this problem that maybe most realtors may not have. And then people are going to start calling you for advice. Their friends, their family, trusted advisors will start calling and saying, hey, maybe you should talk to this person. The other thing about that is, sellers are going to really know that you care, right? They're going to understand that it's not a transaction you're doing. You're building a relationship of care and compassion and moving somebody from where they are to where they're going to go. The sale of the home is a byproduct of our services, right? And if you approach it that way, it's going to come across that way, and people are going to understand that you actually do care. And guess what? They're going to tell their friends and family, right? You'll also secure more listings. In this market, what we're going to see is the interest rates are rising, the economy is having its challenges, right? Stock market's having its challenges. So the move-up buyer is going to sit still for a bit, right? They're going to be hesitant to sell their home and buy a larger home when they have a 2.75 interest rate. Now they got to go to a 5.75 rate, right? And so that buyer is going to say, well, geez, I don't know if that makes sense right now. Maybe I'll wait. And so that's what's going to happen. So that market's going to, it's the market for listings is really you want to be focused on the ones that have to sell, right? And that's these older adults that are moving out of their homes. They're going to have to sell, right? There's no need for them to keep the property. And that's what happened. I started in 2005 and 6, 7, and 8. Yeah, that's what happened. And our business kept growing, and everyone else's had challenges. So, this is a shift-proof market, because this is a market that's not contingent on interest rates. It's not contingent on the economy, right? And then you're going to build a shift-proof niche, a niche that, you're going to survive, you're going to thrive in the niche, in this shift, where others are going to be challenged with a lower the minimized number of selling properties that are be sold is going to start happening. You know, in our market, you're going to lose 20%, 25% of the market, right? Sales are going to go down. But if you have a listing and it's priced well, you know you're going to have that sale, okay? And building referrals with the trusted advisors, that's what we work on, is help building a network of those who the wealthy older adult go to, right? So who do they go to? Well, they go to a CPA, they go to a trust attorney, right? And they go to a financial planner. That's who they're going to seek advice from. So the question is that you know, they go to the CPA for, you know, their tax protection. They go to the attorney for their trust and legal protection, and they go to the financial planner to plan their financial wealth. Who manages their real estate? Nobody does, right? The realtor is typically on a transaction, and nobody's really having a higher level holistic approach to that adult that has one or many more properties, right? The wealthy older adult has a number of investment properties as well. So you can become that real estate planner with this knowledge, which is the ability to provide solutions to the problem they're going to face during their lifetime. And then you're going to build a larger lead funnel before any other agent. You know, many of our clients, they've come to seminars years ago and they say, now I'm ready, right? Well, they've already had us in mind for a number of years and now they're ready. And so we're getting into the mind share of a population that when the time comes, they're going to sell. No one's going to force them to sell. They'll know when it's time. And then that's when they reach out and call us, because, well, you built a brand around senior relocation services. So why are they downsizing and moving? Well, for a number of reasons. One is the physical health challenges. Usually what will happen is it's a knee or the hip, right? And walking upstairs is problematic. Maybe it's, you know, heaven forbid, having some kind of ailment or disease that comes around, cancer, all these challenges that as we get older, there's a greater likelihood of happening to us all, right? And that's why people are downsizing and moving. They're also moving because of maybe mental health challenges. You know, there's a lot of Alzheimer's and dementia that are showing up in today's world. And I got to tell you, there's one reason for that is we're living longer, right? See, the doctor can fix your heart in a day with arthroscopic, putting a needle in your vein and running it all the way through your heart and putting a stent in, and you walk out the next day, right? So our bodies are going to live longer. The challenge is cerebral, right? There's nothing that helps us with that. So as our bodies live longer, if we don't exercise cerebrally, we're going to have some challenges, right? Mental loss and things like that. And that's why folks are downsizing and moving, because it's not safe to live at home any longer. They're selling to pay for long-term care needs, right? They're moving to a retirement community or a care home. Maybe they need care and they just can't stay at home any longer. Well, they're going to move and they have to pay for that stuff, right? And it's expensive. Yeah, thousands of dollars every month. Sometimes it's just family dynamics. You know, their two children moved away and now they have grandchildren in another city or state. Where do they want to be? Well, they want to be near where the people that they care about the most are, right? Their grandchildren, right? And so they oftentimes move to be closer to them, right? It's all about quality of life, right? When you get to a certain age, it's not about money anymore, right? Because you have enough of that. It's more about, how do I want to spend my time? And then they're selling to move in with family. Sometimes, you know, family's taking care of family, right? And so they're saying, you know, hey, dad passed away, and mom's getting a little bit forgetful, or she's having a hard time with whatever it is. Then they're taking, families are getting, you'll see more multi-generational homes, right? Where family's taking care of family. Or their home's just too big and too much work to maintain. That's the most common one, because as they age, you know, a lot of our clients, they have 3 or 4 kids, and you have a 3 or 4 or 5 bedroom home. And then as they all leave, you know, you've got this big home and you only use 2 of the rooms, right? And so they start realizing, like, wow, I don't even go upstairs. I may as well get rid of this, right? Let's downsize. or they're selling and buying or renting something smaller, right? They know that the market's hot. They know that we've hit a peak in the market. And so a lot of our clients are saying, hey, maybe sooner is better than later. We're getting that showing up as well in today's market, right? They all know what's happening to the market, that the values went up in the last couple of years during COVID enormously. They also know that the interest rates are rising, right? And when that happens, they're concerned about the shift in the market, which is inevitable. And so the real astute older adult, they're saying, you know what, now it's better, probably the best time for me to do this. So they're selling, and some are buying something smaller, some are just cashing out and just renting until they go into a retirement community. There are many different ways folks are doing this. And then many of them are moving into retirement communities. You know, we're advocates of retirement communities because the demographic, a lot of our clients are in their 70s and 80s, right? And at that point, they're planning the next 10 years of their life. And they know that at some point they're going to need help and care. Yesterday, I just had a conversation with an older adult that she came to our senior fair and she said, yeah, I need to plan ahead because my sister's in the hospital. Two women that lived together, two sisters, never married, never had kids. She's now starting to plan, okay, what's going to happen for me? Right? And so we're going to help her move into a retirement community and then help her sell her home. And then many are going to just want to move to a lower cost of living environment. We see a lot of folks along the West Coast and the East Coast moving inland, right? They're moving into the states that are less expensive, right? Texas, Georgia, Tennessee, Florida, you know, areas that the cost of living is lower, right? Because the cost of living is quite high and the taxes are quite high in an area that, you know, maybe their family is not even close by, right? And then want to live in a warmer climate. You know, we see a lot of folks that are tired of shoveling snow, and when you get older, it's dangerous, right? Being in the snow. So they're moving down south somewhere down in the warmer climates. And so we see a lot of folks moving right now, right? And lastly, they just want to be closer to family or care. We had many of our clients saying, hey, I need to go to this cancer hospital because they're the best in it, or a heart hospital, you know, somewhere that they get the best level of care. Because again, most of our clients, the wealthy older adult, they have the money to go to get the best. And so they're doing that, right? They're moving to a place where they can get the best care or the best lifestyle that they could afford. So basically, when they move to a retirement community, there's two basic types of retirement communities. The first type is a month-to-month rental, right? And the second type is a CCRC, continuing care retirement communities. And they're quite different, right? They're quite different. What's on the next one? I can't remember, please. Okay, let me go back. Let me explain a little bit about this. So the month-to-month rental, you pay a community fee, which is a first month's rent. It'll range you anywhere from $35,000 to $6,000 a month, right? You get 3 meals a day, get all your care should you need help. There's cleaning once a week. There's activities, there's transportation, there's things like that. It simplifies life, right? Because as you get older, cooking and cleaning is problematic, right? Mobility could be problematic. Driving could be problematic. And so all these solutions come to being available at a retirement community. Now, the month-to-month rental is the largest type that is being developed because the baby boomer wants to have flexibility, right? Wants to have flexibility in where they're living. So there's no long-term commitment, right? You can move in, 3 months later, move out, go to somewhere else. You could do that, right? The CCRC is different though. That's typically where there's an entry fee, right? And it's significant. In our market, the entry fee in CCRCs are anywhere from $350,000 to $1.2 million. Okay, and that's where the wealthy older adult goes because they have a continuum of care and it's a higher level of care, right? That you can get in some of these communities. You know, the most expensive community that I've visited is the V in Palo Alto, right? The V, a 3-bedroom, 1,500 square foot unit. The entry fee for that unit was $5.2 million. With a maintenance fee, a monthly fee of, I think it was $5,000 to $12,000, right? And so that's where the wealthy older adult go. They go to where the best care is, right? And so in your market, the simplest thing for you to do today, if you're just curious or you want to learn how to be the senior relocation specialist, is study the market. So just go to Google, put retirement communities near me, and everything's going to populate near you, right? And through our class, we're going to teach you how to make that phone call, how to book the appointment, how to understand and learn the value proposition, and hopefully build a referral network from those communities, right? And so those are the two types of communities. And it's really important, if you want to be a relocation specialist, you really want to understand what those options are. The other thing you want to understand is the levels of care, right? Obviously on the left side, you've got independent living. You can do everything yourself, you're driving. Assisted living, where you need some assistance from what we call ADLs, activities of daily living, right? Activities of daily living is important to know. That's bathing, dressing, grooming, toileting, continence, mobility. Okay. And the reason why that's important to know is, should somebody need care, think about it. If you think about it, if we should be blessed to live long enough, we're all going to need some level of care. Wouldn't you agree? It's going to happen, right? And so understanding that before it happens, then you can guide somebody down a path, right? You can provide more services other than just selling real estate. Right? So the assisted living, the activities of daily living is important, because if your client needs 2 of the 6 activities of daily living, and if they have long-term care insurance, the long-term care insurance could possibly cover for a portion of that care, which would preserve their wealth, right? The next is skilled nursing facilities. If you want to sound like you're part of this industry, you call them SNFs. Doesn't sound real good. SNF, SNF. A SNF is a skilled nursing facility where you actually have a nurse. It's a 24-hour care, right? It's a skilled nurse, right? And then memory care, there's types of memory care that float underneath all of these levels of care, right? There's memory care that's independent. You have memory care that's assisted living, and also skilled nursing in memory care. Now, most of these places that you go, either the independent living or assisted living retirement communities, even the skilled nursing, it's an all-inclusive. Once you pay them, they provide room and board and food and care for that individual. So we've moved many clients from their home to a care facility or a retirement community because they've asked us to, because they told us they can't live there any longer. And they also told us they wanted to sell their home. And that's how you get in front of the other realtors in your market, because you're going to provide a service that nobody else does provide, right? And these people will know that, and they're going to reach out for you. So the real problem is their home doesn't work for them any longer, and they just have to move, right? What you want to be is the complete solution so that you can help them. The first problem that they have is their home doesn't work for them. So if you got good at understanding how to find them a new home, how to get them there, how to make that smooth and easy, then you're going to be in front of all the other realtors that don't even know that this property is going to be available for sale, right? You're way in front of the pipeline. Number 2 is you're going to process change of life physically and emotionally. And that's quite a challenge. We become almost like a case manager in some cases, right? Helping folks make the change and transition. We use an acronym called SORT: sell, offer, retain, and toss. And that's everything in their house can fit in one of those 4 piles. And then what you want to get good at is getting a move manager or a declutter company that'll come in and help them with that service, right? So there's an association, you probably want to write this down, NASM, N-A-S-M-M, N-A-S-M-M, the National Association of Senior Move Managers, okay? That organization, if you Google it, you put it in there and you put your zip code in, you will find all the senior move managers that are licensed through the association. And they may be able to help you, because that's one of the biggest problems that they're going to have is their personal belongings, their stuff, okay? And it's a problem. If they can't get through that problem, you're not going to sell real estate. So provide a solution to that. Have a vendor relationship with one of these companies that can provide that solution, and so that you can help them move forward and then move and set up their new home as well. These companies will oftentimes do that. And then what they're likely going to say is, hey, my house has these problems, things that are wrong. And then getting it ready for sale. I mean, fixing the windows or changing the refrigerator or painting a bedroom or a bathroom or flooring a carpet. Having a relationship with a handyman or a general contractor is really helpful to the owner, right? It gives them confidence to know that you have the complete solution. You're not going to tell them to go do anything. You're going to be able to do everything for them, right? And that's what people want. They want the complete solution, right? We've actually trademarked that name called the Complete Solution for the United States because retirement communities used to tell us that we have the complete solution, right? And financial planners told us that we had the complete solution. And we do, because if anybody calls us, we can help them not only find their home, move, transition, fix their home up, and sell it for them. And lastly, is just communicate and advocate for them the entire time, right? It's really important because they don't know what they're doing. And the more you can communicate as to what's going to happen will help minimize stress in their life, because it's a very stressful time for an older adult, right? They've never done this for decades, maybe never. You know, our oldest client was 89 years old. She lived in her home 89 years. Imagine how much stuff that she collected over time. Imagine how traumatic it was for the move, right? And so having that ability to provide a complete solution is vitally important. Here's the seller's criteria. You know, all they have is 3 questions. Do I like you? Do I trust you? And do I believe you can help me? See, most of us are pretty likable and we can appear to be trustworthy. But the really question is, do I believe they can help me? That's where you will thrive in your market. That's what will make a difference between you and anybody else in your market. If you have solutions to the problem, you already know what the problem is going to be, and you're going to have a solution to that. And that's what our class teaches, right? How to secure listings with the wealthy older adult. So our goal is to really get more listings, right? And then build a network and database. So one of the things that I did when I first started was I made a list of all the financial planners in my market, all the trust attorneys in my market, all the wealth advisors in my market. And I started talking to folks, and that was my lead generation, right? I wanted to understand their value proposition so that I could share my value proposition. And then they found a match and a client, and then they would refer us business, right? And that's how you build a network to be the real estate planner. The real estate planner is a licensed real estate agent who's certified and has the knowledge, training, and experience to compassionately guide a real estate owner in ways to create generational wealth, minimize taxes, and facilitate the goals of the family. This concept of being the real estate planner is new to real estate. This concept about seeing somebody holistically versus transactionally, right? We are a relational business, right? We build relations, and what's good about that is you're really changing somebody's life, right? And you're changing the trajectory of their family, building generational wealth. We teach agents, but also how to teach the older adult and their children how to build wealth and transfer wealth. And that's what a real estate planner does. So, you know, what it's going to do for you, it's going to elevate your business. It's going to take you from a good real estate agent to a real estate planner. Okay. Becoming the trusted advisor consultant of the trusted consultant. Right. That's what will happen, because financial planners will call you, CPAs will call you, attorneys will call you, say, this person probably needs your help. It's going to attract a lot of these leads from them. And then you're going to be able to provide solutions to the problems wealthy people have. Right? How many of you have heard of a family who fought over real estate after mom and dad died? Many of us, right? Almost all of us. And there's a reason for that, because the property, the world tells you to put the property in a trust, and the trust will keep it safe. And that's absolutely true for safe from probate. But it doesn't keep you safe from your family, does it? And that's where the problem starts. And that's what a real estate planner does. Helps them plan to transfer of wealth. We do that in a number of ways, for the most part through the 1031 exchange, which is another part of our class that we teach, right? We create a customized strategy to manage their entire portfolio of real estate. So our group coaching class has 4 classes. It's $199 for all 4 classes. If you're interested, get your phone out and you can click on the QR code down in the bottom right. But the 4 classes are 1 hour each, and it starts with understanding the opportunity. What most of us don't understand is how massive this opportunity is with the wealthy older adult community, and how to approach them, right? How do you attract them? And the second one is how to become a senior relocation specialist. And you're going to learn in detail how to become that person. What are the things that you need to do in order to provide enough knowledge and experience to those folks and the solutions that they need. And then we talk about 1031 exchanges and DSTs and legacy planning. That is a whole world that most realtors do not understand. Many realtors are afraid of it. Many realtors, it's a tax situation that they're concerned about. We teach you how to make this is a big part of our business, right? We teach you how to not fail a 1031 exchange. We teach you the conversations that you need to have in building a legacy for the properties. We'll teach you about Delaware statutory trusts, which is an amazing tool to provide for a person doing a 1031 exchange as a replacement property. That's the safety net, right? And last, we talk about wills, trusts, and probate, and how to be a trust specialist and probate expert, right? Because what's happening, if any of you open the Sunday paper and you look in the obituaries, that's a fraction of the people that have passed away in your market, okay? And just imagine 80% of them own real estate and they don't know what to do. They need your help. They need someone that's going to plan for them, because there's not many people out there that are doing that. And so they're sitting on properties, not doing anything about it because they don't know what to do, until it gets to a point where then there's a family dispute, right? And we never want that. We want to keep families together, right? So if you're interested, click on the QR code on the right. It starts October 19th. Again, it's $199 for 4 weeks and 4 classes. Lastly, we have a new community. It's one of the newest communities in KWRI. It's called KW Real Estate Planner. So I got in business with KWRI and Gary Keller, and we built a community that's really designed for training, right? Certifications. So obviously, there's a lot of referrals going to be passed by, but what you're going to do is learn the systems, models, and tools that we've mastered to secure listings with this demographic. Again, this demographic's only growing, all right? Right now, it's every single year for the next 10 to 20 years, this market's going to be growing, right? And they will have a need to sell. Okay. So what we do is we do monthly training and certifications. These are classes that I take. Every one of these classes is 3 months long. There's 3 hours for each of these A, B, C, and D, right? And at the end of every 1 hour class, there's a knowledge check that are required that you need to take the test and pass with 80% in order for you to get certified. And then and 2 weeks later, there's a mastermind around these topics. We're asking our community in the portal, list your most important concerns or questions. And we're going to take the top 10 and 5 to 10 of them, and we're going to answer them. We're going to talk about them, right? We're going to mastermind about the most common questions that folks have, because what you're going to find is there's a lot of people that have situations just like you, and you want to learn from each other. And that's what that mastermind is going to be. We also have a private Facebook group where we transfer networking referrals, but also a Q&A section in there. And all of these things, it's $199 a month, and it's only available to the top 5% of the market center. Right? That's it. It's not open to everybody. There are requirements. You must have $150,000 of GCI in the rolling 12 months, and KWRI will validate that. And you have to have 2 years of license in good standing. Right? Those are the minimums in order to enter the market, into the community. So this is not a community for everyone. This is for those that are fairly experienced, have some level of success already, and they want to really elevate their game to the next level. And if you're interested, feel free to click on the QR code. You'll get everything you need to know about that, as well as how to apply with our community. And I'm pretty much done for our class today. How did I do? 33 minutes. Okay. Here's my contact. This is what I do every day. I surf every day in the mornings. That's how I live my life. So if you're interested in the group coaching, feel free to click on that. Do we have any questions? You can take the group coaching class and not join the community. That's correct. That's why we have both. Okay, so this fast track group coaching class, securing listings with the wealthy. Go back one. This class, you don't have to enter the community. Anybody can enter this. Okay, you have to be with, I think you got to be with KW, but a brand new agent can enter and take this class, right? But the community is a different level of training, right?
Damn it.
Oh, yeah, okay, there's a QR code. And if those who are interested, take your phone out. It's the easiest way to do it. Click on it, and then you can have all the information that you need to make a decision if this is a good thing for you. It is an investment, right? Because it's a 12-month program, right? There's 12 months in this. And it's a deep dive into how to build your business around this market. When Gary Keller interviewed me for the first time 9 years ago at Mega Camp, he kept saying to me, Dan, this is very duplicatable. This is very duplicatable. And that's what we're doing now. We've created a model so that we can duplicate this in every market in America, right? To elevate our top agents to a real estate planner model, right? That doesn't exist. The world is hearing about it. I just got interviewed today from a national magazine because they're calling KWRI because they're hearing that there's this thing called a real estate planner that no one knows about, right? They don't understand it. And you all got the first glimpse into this. And if you want more information, feel free to click on the QR code. Any other questions? Does this give you a certification? Yes, Heidi, thank you for the question. It is a certification within KW. Okay, we haven't gone to NAR. NAR's talking to us, National Association of Realtors has reached out to us. We are working with them, but right now this is a KW community exclusively. Keep in mind, the words real estate planner we have an application to the PTO, the Patent and Trade Office of America, of the United States, and those words will be protected for anybody only in our community. So it's a very exclusive group that we're building for the top 5% of our agents in KW. How many KW? Where do we reach for the 1 month class? Okay, so on this screen, for those who are interested, because we're getting a lot of questions about the QR codes, this is for the community KW Real Estate Planner, okay? So if you're interested in everything you see on the screen, then take your phone out, click on that, and then we'll go back to the class one more time. Oh, yeah, and it's also in the chat, right? And that's a QR code for the class, right? This is 1 month, 4 weeks straight. It starts October 19th, and this will be the launching pad to learning how to secure listings with the wealthy. Yeah, so feel free to grab your phone and click that out. It is 1 month, yes, every week, 1 hour every week. Same time, same place. Are there any questions that I missed that we should have? It's Diane Berger asked if we meet all the requirements but are not in the top 5% of agents, can you join the yes, you can. Yes, you can join as long as you meet the minimum requirements and the seats are available. Okay, so if you've got 200 agents in your market center, the most people that can go through that community would be 10%, 5%, right? So that's the limit. What we can do for those who are having trouble with the QR codes, we can send them to them, Graham, maybe, or I believe it was in the chat. Yeah.
yeah, I put the link straight to the website and the registration link and all the info about the 1 month class in the chat. And then we'll be sending out, Dan will be sending out follow-ups to the entire roster after,
yes, we will.
Either this evening or tomorrow.
Yes. So as long as you have everyone's contact information, we'll definitely get all the information to everyone, how to sign up for the class as well as the community. Okay, Natalie, we got to check. Natalie said she signed up at Medicamp. Yeah, there was we need to make Natalie's note. Natalie, we'll get back to you today on that because you should have heard from KWRA already. Thank you, Kathy. Appreciate your time. Any other questions before we go? I don't want to take up too much of your time. Do you have to be a KW agent? Yes, you do. I think so. Graham, can a non-KW agent take a fast track class?
As long as you're okay with it, yeah.
Yes. Okay. So the class you could take, the community you cannot. You have to be in KW to be into KW Real Estate Planner community. But the class, anybody outside of KW is open to take as well. Questions? Comments? Canadian content, not yet because we don't understand your laws at the moment. Once we do, we'll come up with a plan for that. I was asked to take this globally and I was quite overwhelmed by that statement. So we're working on the United States at the moment, but we will certainly work to get there as we expand and get more support. Yeah, Natalie, feel free to reach out to me. Once you go back to my contact information is there for anybody who needs to reach me. Feel free to just text me, email me if you want to chat about any of these things. We can time block. If you go to the QR code for the community, there's a way to contact Dan, and then there's a Calendly link that it has availabilities that I have. That's the next one. Sure. No, next one. Yeah, no. Next. That's the last. Yes. Oh, I'm sorry, the other way. Yeah, this QR code. When you click on that, it then has on the bottom of the link, it says contact Dan. And in that will be a link to reserve time on my schedule, right? We're fairly systematized, so it works out well. Anyways, well, thank you everyone for your attention. Thank you. I trust that we brought value. Please let us know how we can serve you and help elevate you and your business to the next level. This is going to be a great ride, and this is a great market, and you will make a difference in your community. So thank you so much. Aloha.